Hey guys, this is Dr. Stephanie Burgos, and I wanted to welcome you to the Body Experiment. This is going to be your introduction group. So let me tell you a little bit about kind of how this group got started and why I started doing this and why I started offering this to my clients. So I started realizing, I actually got inspired by my mom. So my mom was doing a low carb, high fat. She was actually following the 21 Day Fix Extreme Carb Cycling program. And she was getting phenomenal results. And so that got me interested, and I started doing some research, and I started doing some more research into the low carbohydrate, high fat, moderate protein nutrition style. And I was blown away by the science and by the research behind it. And a part of me was actually a little upset that we were not teaching this more in society, that especially with all the metabolic conditions going on, people were not learning more about this. I have a couple ideas as to why, but it really got me interested and it really got me curious, and that's why I started to do the research, and I said, nope, I have to do this myself. And I started seeing phenomenal results, and I need to be able to offer this to the people that I know, to my clients who would need this. So the point of this group, it's different than any other group that I've ever done in the past. And it's because I'm really stressing education. I'm really stressing that you begin to understand more about nutrition and the science behind certain aspects of nutrition, and really understanding how this nutrition style can possibly work for you and your body. I will tell you that from my research, following a low carbohydrate, high fat, moderate protein diet, or a nutrition plan, as I like to say, or really looking at it as nutrition therapy, can really help those who suffer from PCOS, who have thyroid conditions, some people who suffer from infertility issues, postmenopausal women, women who are pre-diabetic, or people in general who are pre-diabetic, people who have, weight around their stomach, people, it really can help a lot of people. And I think it's because, the stats are showing, and this is also one of the main reasons why I'm doing this, the stats are showing that by 2050, 50% of our population is going to be obese in America, which means that 50% of our population is going to be pre-diabetic, if not diabetic. And so we as a society we have kind of changed our body to really, many of us, be able to benefit from this type of lifestyle. Now, the reason why I am stressing education and making sure that you do all of your homework and making sure that you're participating is because this is something that definitely I want you to have a good understanding as to why carbohydrates are causing you to have the weight gain that you have and causing you not to see the results that you want. I need you to have that understanding, because I know for many of you, it's going to be very difficult to let go of the carbohydrates and to increase your fats. And so I need you to have an understanding so that the more mindful you are, the more that you understand, not that you're never ever going to say yes to carbohydrates and eat tons of carbohydrates, but now you're going to have a knowledge base, and now you're going to have a little bit more understanding that you're going to look at food differently. And that's my goal. My goal is that you will be educated throughout this group, throughout this introductory group, as well as in the main group, that you will be educated, that you will learn more about your body, that you will have an aha moment, and that you will really start seeing the changes that you want to see in your weight, in the goals that you want to achieve, while also incorporating exercise. So a couple things about this group. So this is just the introduction group. We actually have a bigger group that you will be graduated into. It's super fun. It's super active. It's my most active group that I have going on, but I didn't want to just throw you into there, right? Like I just didn't want to do that, because I know you would be overwhelmed, and it's expected. There's a ton of information. So number one, I want you to realize that you need to become a student again. It's about really understanding more about nutrition and understanding more about your body. And with that means there's going to be some trial and error in this. And so I want you to have grace for yourself. I want you to have patience for yourself. And I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. I just want you to say, let's take this one day at a time, and I will make the strides that I need to so that I can make sure that I'm seeing the progress that I need to, right? So I just want to set some expectations. Number one, you need to do the podcast. You will see that I have posted some podcasts here that I need you to listen to. If you have whatever phone you have, you will be able to download a podcast type of program and you will be able to listen to these podcasts. They are free. You don't have to pay for them. And so I just really want you to listen to these. Again, it's about education. Don't just take what I say for face value. I don't want that. I want you to be empowered and I want you to be equipped and I want you to have this understanding. So number one, you will have to listen to the podcast. Number two, I will be posting posts throughout this week and I'll be expecting you to read them and to participate. This is not one of those groups that you can just go MIA. If you go MIA, I will remove you from the group. I need you to be participating because I need to make sure that you are getting the knowledge that you need, and I need to make sure that I know what you're eating. This is one of those plans that if you, like, let's say for example, you decide you want to follow this plan and you want to follow this lifestyle for a couple weeks, you will see results. But it's one of those things that if you don't really if you don't really understand why this is working for you and really commit to these changes as a lifestyle, you're gonna gain some of that weight back, if not all the weight. And so that's why I'm taking this very seriously, and that's why I'm asking for your commitment. And I'm asking for your promise that you will listen to the podcast and that you will play full out in this group and when you go to the next group. And really playing full out is listening to the podcast as well as sharing your meals and sharing what you're eating so that myself and other leaders in the group can give you feedback, okay? So throughout this group, or throughout this specific introduction group, you're gonna get the podcast. Number two, you're gonna learn a little bit about what low carb, high fat is and what the ketogenic diet is and what all these words mean. What I want you to know is that think of this as a spectrum. You know, the most extreme type of plan is the ketogenic diet. That's the lowest carbohydrates, the highest fat, moderate protein. Then the next one down is the low carb, high fat, moderate protein. And I know you're just saying, like, it sounds like you're saying the same things, but you have to trust me that it's just a little bit more lax. And then there's kind of like carb cycling. And so my goal is that in these first few weeks, or even the first 1 to 2 weeks, you're gonna be more strict. And then I want to be able to show you as you're learning how to make this more adaptable into more of a carb cycling type of program for yourself so that you can really feel comfortable taking this into your lifestyle for the rest of your life. So I just want to throw that out there that in the beginning, it's going to be strict where I'm going to have you tracking your nutrition. I'm going to have you sharing, but it's because I really want you to see how this type of plan can really help your body and affect your body. And then we're going to start saying, okay, let's add this and let's add that and let's loosen up on here. But it's all through showing you how do I adapt? Like, how do I adapt when I have a party, or how do I adapt when I go on vacation, or do I adapt? And all of these things we're going to be working through together as a community. It may not be all in this one group right here because this is meant to be a small introductory group, but that's kind of the long-term plan. Number two, you're going to need to download MyFitnessPal. That is an application that you're going to be using to track your macronutrients. When I say macronutrients are protein, carbohydrates, and fat. And so you'll be tracking what you're eating, and I will be showing you how to adjust your macronutrients so that you can follow this specific lifestyle plan. What I'll need you to do is I'll need you to follow. I'll be making a video showing you how to adjust your macronutrients. So go ahead and make sure you watch that video. And then you'll need to download the app, and then I'll be asking you to share screenshots from your phone every day so that I make sure, and myself and the other leaders can make sure that you're following this appropriately. Also, you will have a plan to follow in the first week. It will be an actual meal plan, so that'll be incredibly useful, I know, to many of you. And just keep in mind that there can be some substitutions, but one thing I want to say, guys, is that when you actually are eating very healthy and eating the right things for your body, the list is pretty limited. So, you know, I always tell that to people because they're just like, oh my goodness, I can't eat this, I can't eat that. No, you really shouldn't be eating that. You know, you think about all the thousands of foods that are in the supermarkets when really there's only a limited list that we should really be consuming and really be eating. So that's going to be incredibly important. Number three that I want you guys to just really, really understand. You need to make sure that you eat all the calories allotted in this plan. I know that sounds crazy, but what I see the most happening is that people do not eat all of their calories. You need to eat all of your calories. I'm going to repeat, you need to eat all of your calories. Why? Because you're starving your body if you are not eating enough for your weight and where you are today. So yes, some of these calories are going to be higher than what you guys have been eating in the past because many of you have not been eating enough, and that's why you're not seeing the results and you have shot your metabolism down. So now we're gonna be revving it up, and we're going to be, really making sure that you're eating enough for your body. So that's gonna be important. Also, making sure that you're drinking a ton of water. That's going to be incredibly important. And also, we'll be talking about sometimes some people can get detox symptoms depending on how addicted they are to sugar and how addicted they are to eating so many carbohydrates. We'll be touching upon that this week in the group so that you're prepared for that. I didn't get any of the detox symptoms, but that's because I do normally follow a pretty healthy and low carbohydrate meal plan. So I didn't get that, but I do know other people who did. So I want to make sure that you're equipped and you're knowledgeable about that so that if you do go through that, you know that this is symptoms that will eventually improve. So anyway, guys, lots to take in. I just want to encourage you guys to come in, be a student, get excited, and really just ask tons of questions. And again, this is meant to be an introduction, this group. It'll be about 5 to 7 days, depending on how much information I want to get out to you in this first week, and then we'll be putting you into the main group. All right, guys. Oh, one more thing. I do want to touch upon intermittent fasting. You may see many of us fasting. And so that's something that you can do. You don't have to do. More to come on that. I will be making a post on intermittent fasting so that you can educate yourself and you can decide if it's something that you would like to do. All right, guys. So again, the podcast, you need to play full out. Download MyFitnessPal. Realize that these first few weeks are going to be the most strict, and then we're going to be teaching you how to adjust, but you have to be willing to play all out because I know that this is going to work for you, but I need you to understand and really educate yourself. All right, I'm super excited. Are you pumped? So if you're pumped, I want you to comment below and tell me, yes, I promise I'm gonna play full out. I promise I'm gonna listen to the podcast. That's what I want you. That's gonna be your homework assignment so that I know that you listen to this thing in entirety. Bye.